Three FBI agents are set to testify before Congress about the FBI's corrupt handling of the Clinton email investigation. One of those agents actually ran the Clinton investigation, and he resigned over FBI and DOJ leadership efforts to kill the case. His testimony will come before the House Judiciary and Oversight and Government Reform Committees next month. My next guest is a former Trump campaign advisor. He says he was targeted by a possible FBI intermediary, not once, but twice during the spring of 2016. Joining us tonight is Michael Caputo, and it is good to have you with us, Michael. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Lou. I really appreciate the invitation.
Let's start with, first of all, I have been engrossed in, as everyone I think is, in the special counsel and its reaction to the evidence and to the testimony that they're hearing. Now, you've talked to the special counsel about this, and I'm fascinated by the reaction of the special counsel. Could you share that with us?
Sure. I was approached in the first week of May in 2016 by a former federal government national security contractor who said that the NSA had emails and that we should get, he could help us get a hold of them. Emails that related to Hillary Clinton. This was when Hillary Clinton had deleted 30,000. Remember, we were all looking for them.
Right.
And, of course, after a couple of weeks, I turned it down because it was just too close to classified information. I didn't want to touch anything. That's a crime. But, 2 years later, actually, in the early part of 2016, I told the House Intelligence Committee about this. They took down the information. And then in the early part of May, I told the Senate Intelligence Committee. They weren't even taking notes. And frankly, I offered them the timeline I was reading from, and they didn't take a copy. And then I told the Mueller team the same thing the next day on May 2nd, and it didn't seem to even interest them, and they didn't take a copy either. And that had I was really scratching my head about that until this whole thing came up with the spy on the Trump campaign. And it became very clear to me this could be the very same thing. Of course, I had a second attempt to contact me in late May, one that my attorney says I can't talk about because the Mueller team was very interested in it, wanted to talk about it a lot, and knew more about it than I did. So I'm really looking forward to going to the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General. This whole expanded investigation the president demanded over the weekend. I think that was a masterstroke, Lou. What the president did this weekend gave me the opportunity to share this with someone who will know if these are FBI informants or not.
The president has promised absolute transparency. Now, whether or not the officials of the Justice Department, the same corrupt officials in some cases that were there previously, the officials in the FBI, the top 5 are gone, so the odds are better within the FBI itself. But it's going to be interesting to see because this president, the American people, as I said earlier in this broadcast, are going to rally around this president on the issue of transparency. No president has ever done this, and it's remarkable already how popular this president is. I want to put up a full screen here, Michael, if I may, to just put in context something that occurred as we're pointing out. You were talking about early May when you were contacted, but George Papadopoulos was also contacted in that general time frame. Late May, you and Papadopoulos, again, are contacted. And in July, Carter Page is contacted in London. This is the Australian contact, the highest-ranking diplomat suddenly was interested in Carter Page. And in September, Sam Clovis was contacted. This begins to take on the appearance of a broader targeting, I think, than anyone possibly imagined. Your thoughts?
I agree. In fact, what happened to me, if it is in fact an operation trying to set me up with classified information or Hillary's emails or whatever it was, the first and the second time, it looks a lot like what happened to George Papadopoulos. And, I was pretty harsh on Papadopoulos when it came down what he was being charged with. I really feel badly about calling him a coffee boy. I've apologized to him today. He really got screwed. Our country failed George Papadopoulos and his family. Carter Page, didn't take the bait, and he's a gentleman about it. But what happened to me may end up being a great big misunderstanding. But, Lou, it could also be the keys to the kingdom of God. And I was shocked that nobody from any of the investigations wanted to know anything about it.
Right.
And now that the president has, I understand the skepticism about the inspector general at the DOJ, but I was impressed with his report about Scott McCabe. So I'm a bit optimistic about this inspector general and what he'll do. And I know people were kind of hard on the president about this, thinking it was a half step. But it's something that's happening immediately now. I'm actually able to, my attorney is sending a letter to the Inspector General asking for an appointment. I'm hoping it happens in the very short term. If the president had demanded another special counsel, we might have been waiting months. I'm really optimistic about this, and I think the president's move this weekend demanding that investigation was an absolute masterstroke.
I agree, and it is also, is nearly in every instance the case. It is also the right thing to do. This president seems to have an unerring sense of what to do, and absolute transparency from our Justice Department and the FBI. These corrupt institutions are going to have to be purged. That's all there is to it, with the leadership that they have tolerated for way too long. Michael Caputo, thanks for being with us. We appreciate you sharing your story, and like you, we're all watching to see the next moment's events. We only know one thing. Day by day, they're sure to arrive. Thanks so much, Michael Caputo.
Yes, they are.